Hey, what is up, YouTube? What's happening, guys? It is Rules for Rebels here, and Johnny F1 had asked an interesting question. He had commented on one of my Shopify videos, and he said, "What makes me bored is the social media advertising. I don't like it. I don't know why." So, in today's video, it's titled "Social Media Marketing is Boring Me to Death," and we're going to discuss some strategies kind of to avoid burnout with social media. And also for those of you guys who just really don't have an interest in social media, I'm going to give you guys a couple of options of ways that you can kind of be more effective with social media. So first things first, I mean, let's be honest, like social media is critical in this day and age. And I'm guilty, I'm as guilty of it as the next person. Like I've never really liked Facebook. I've never really been an active user of it. I do have a couple throwaway profiles that I use for like Facebook ads and Facebook groups and things like that, but I'm personally just not a fan of Facebook. I don't like the layout. I feel like it's a little bit too invasive of my privacy. And just overall, I don't like Facebook. Now, I realize that I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by not participating in Facebook because for years it's been a huge platform for marketing. Facebook groups are very powerful at building an audience, at driving traffic. Facebook ads are incredibly powerful. And because I'm not really a big fan of Facebook and because I don't really have a real profile that I use on there, I'm not nearly as active or engaged or knowledgeable as I should be. And I've probably lost out on a lot of traffic and a lot of business because of it. So try not to let yourself like get so tuned out to things that you're like, I hate this and I'm not going to be a part of it, because some things are sort of a necessary evil, but some people really like social media. Other people aren't as crazy about it. So let's get into this. So one of the first things is follow a passion or interest. I'm a huge fan of content marketing, as you guys know if you watch my videos. Content marketing would be like blogs, YouTube videos, and I think social media marketing is a form of content marketing. It's much easier to create content about a topic you are passionate about or at the very least knowledgeable about. So keep that in mind when starting a business. So what we're talking about here is like, let's say, if you're already in a business and you're not passionate about it, it is what it is. Decide if it's something you want to continue on with, if it's profitable, and if it's already making money, it might be worth sticking with. If it's something that hasn't really taken off, you may just want to consider abandoning the business, because at some point, do you really want to keep trucking along doing something that you're not enjoying? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're going to be a lot less passionate about it, and you're going to be a lot less likely to be successful. You're just not going to put in the work that's necessary. So I mean, just to give you an example, I don't always think it's good to follow passion businesses. If everybody wanted to be engaged in businesses that they're passionate about, we'd have a ton of companies or a ton of people selling like video games and drones and all these like fun types of products, and those industries would be saturated. So, it's not always about doing something that you're passionate about. I mean, there's a lot of people making a killing selling like car radio knobs. Like, is that something that you're really passionate about? Not really, but there's money in it. So I'm not saying you should only engage in things that you're passionate about. I mean, there's plenty of boring and unsexy products and businesses and jobs that you can get involved with that are going to make you a lot of money. So I'm not saying to shy away from that, but to some extent, if I have a business selling car radio knobs, it's probably not going to be something where I'm like super active on social media. Like, hey guys, super exciting video today. We're posting about replacement volume knobs for a 1999 Toyota Camry. I mean, there's just some businesses that you're really not going to get that much engagement on social media. But assuming you're starting something like a t-shirt shop, or maybe you sell parts for drones or something like that, like I think I've told you guys, I was involved in the hoverboard business last year. It was a really short-lived business, pretty much from September or October through December was kind of the hot point of that business, and it pretty much totally died out after that. But hoverboards were fun. They were kind of a techie toy. I like techie stuff. Um, it was a fun toy to ride around. So it was very easy to create content. Like, oh, I'm going to ride my hoverboard around and make a video with it. I kind of enjoyed fixing and working on hoverboards. So it was really easy to create content about hoverboards. Like, oh, here's how you fix a hoverboard. Here's how you replace this part. Here's how you replace that part. So that was a topic, and it's not even necessarily all about passion, but a topic that was very easy to make content around. People broke their boards. They needed to know how to fix them. I was an affiliate marketer and I would link people to those products. So I made videos showing people how to repair hoverboards. And then at the end of the video, hey, if you want to buy this part, you can buy it off AliExpress here. You can buy it off Amazon here. You can buy it off eBay here. So that was an easy topic to create content around. It's not always about passion type stuff. If you are knowledgeable about a specific area, even if it's not something that's a huge interest of yours or a passion of yours, at the very least, if you have knowledge in that industry, it's going to be a lot easier to create content as well. So let's say that maybe if, as your day job, you work at a store that sells vacuums. Um, you already have a lot of knowledge in what are the best vacuum models out there. You know about the parts needed to replace vacuums. You know what the most common parts to break on a vacuum are. So while you may not be passionate about vacuums themselves, you already have the knowledge in your head. So it's not as if you have to go out and research stuff to create content. And I think if you're not going to get into a business that you're passionate about, at the very least, if you can get involved with a business that you're knowledgeable about, maybe you decide that you want to start a business, start a Shopify site selling vacuum parts for people who break their vacuums. And maybe you want to sell on eBay and Amazon as well. Well, it's going to be very easy for you to create content because you know what are the most common parts to break on a vacuum. So if you're going to sell parts yourself, you already know what parts to keep in stock. If you want to start doing some video series on here's how to replace I don't even know about vacuum parts, but here's how to replace a timing belt on a uh, Dyson XLC model or whatever, you could probably do that in your sleep. So it's going to be very easy for you to create that type of content. And then if you want to be an affiliate marketer and link people to where they can buy the parts, join an affiliate program and link people in your videos, your blog posts. If you actually want to sell the parts yourself, we'll then link people to your Shopify store or whatever else. But I really find it to be a huge benefit getting involved in a business that you're either passionate about or at the very least already have some interest in, or I'm sorry, already have some knowledge about. Another tip for those of you guys who either don't enjoy social media or for those of you who find keeping up with all the social media posting overwhelming, it's nearly impossible to maintain a strong presence on every social media platform. So we got StumbleUpon, Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, Blogspot, WordPress, and Snapchat, the Pinterest. There's new social media networks popping up every day. Even among the more popular and established ones, there's a ton of them. So my advice is have a presence, have a profile in every social media platform, but choose 2 to 3 of them to focus on. And in my case, it typically tends to be Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. That's not always the best for every business. I think Instagram's good for products because it's a great place to post product pictures. YouTube's a great way to demonstrate products. Twitter is a great way to engage with your audience in real time. I'm not saying that these should be your 3. These are typically my 3 main social media platforms. And to some extent, it's not necessarily the ones that are the most effective for me, although I do think these are the most effective. I tend to kind of lean towards the ones that I'm more familiar with and enjoy more. But pick the top social media platforms where you either get the most engagement or where you're the most comfortable, and try to focus on those networks. Now, you also want to have it, let's say I decide to focus on these 3. It would probably be wise for me to also have a profile or an account set up with Pinterest and Tumblr and some others. But with the other networks, you don't have to be as personally active on those networks. Automate the processes. Use a tool like Hootsuite or IFTTT. Both these tools are free. And basically, you can set up triggers so that when I make a YouTube video, it's automatically going to share that YouTube video on Tumblr. When I make a YouTube video, it's automatically going to share that YouTube video on Pinterest. So that way, I'm consistently posting and I'm having a presence on these other social media platforms, but I'm not literally having to personally go to each one of those platforms and create content or even repost the content. So definitely use social media automation. Don't become a bot. The reason that social media is so popular is because of the back and forth engagement. So if everything you're doing is automated and pre-posted, you're not going to have a strong presence on there. But at the same time, like I said, pick a couple networks to have a presence on, and everything else just automate it. There's just no way you'd be spread way too thin trying to run a business and engage on all these social media platforms. Another option you have, if you're just somebody who just doesn't enjoy social media, hire somebody to manage your social media presence for you. There's actually agencies that you can pay to do this. Now, you probably are going to have to be fairly successful before you do this because it could cost you anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars to have somebody manage your social media presence for you. So if you're just starting out, this may or may not be a possibility. That said, there are a lot of great Fiverr sellers out there, some foreign, some English speaking. The upside to Fiverr is it's really cheap. The downside is a lot of times there's going to be a language barrier because you're going to be dealing with somebody from the Philippines or India or Pakistan or Indonesia or something like that. Another thing, if you want to get an English speaking person, somebody who knows your product or knows your niche and is great at social media, you don't have to hire a network a lot of time or a manager or an agency. A lot of times, your 16-year-old nephew or niece is probably better at social media than you are, and possibly even better than a lot of these agencies out there. I mean, I'm really amazed. Like Snapchat, something I've been trying to get into, and it doesn't really interest me. I'm kind of confused by the layouts. But I'm amazed when like I go over to my little nephew and niece's houses or my girlfriend's nephew's house, and I'm playing with the nephews. I mean, these 5-year-old kids know a lot more about a lot of these social media networks than I do, and especially teenagers. Man, a lot of teenagers like live on social media. So, I mean, I know we don't all have some teenage nephew or niece who we could hire to do something like this, but maybe you have a teenage neighbor next door or whatever. If you know somebody who is a teenager, high school, college kid, etc. They're probably pretty good at social media, so you may want to talk to them about managing your social media for you. Now, obviously, you want to get somebody who's fairly responsible. You don't want somebody posting like inappropriate content. There's been a number of stories where some rogue, employee of whatever company has posted some kind of, risque or inappropriate type content on social media, and it's kind of an embarrassment to the brand. So make sure you know who you're working with. I'm not saying just walk down to the local high school and grab the first kid you see and be like, "Hey, do you want to manage my social media profile?" But if there's somebody that you know and trust, high school, college kid, they'll probably be interested in it. It's a great resume builder. They'll probably work for cheap, I would think, and they're probably going to be pretty good at social media. Another thing, for those of you guys who find yourselves getting burnt out or bored with social media, it might be the way that you're going about engaging on social media that's the problem. So engage with your niche. Something that I see a lot of people doing, and it's going to be boring for you and boring for your audience. I see a lot of people like blasting out the same links and product pics every day. Not only is this going to be boring for you, it's going to be boring for your audience as well. So engage with your niche, share news, share stories, share interesting things, etc. So I'll give you guys kind of a good example of this. So something I see a lot of people doing is like every single day on Twitter, let's say somebody sells virtual reality glasses or something like that. Every day they have a post coming out. Hey, buy our VR glasses. Hey, buy our VR glasses. Hey, you can buy our VR glasses for $19.95. Hey, our VR glasses are fun. And it's going to bore you to death tweeting out the same crap like that every day. And also, anybody who follows you on social media, they're going to be bored with your same post every day telling them to buy your VR glasses. So I guess I really don't know that much about virtual reality glasses to kind of give you an example. But rather than doing that, what if you made a video that was kind of like a screencast of what it looks like to play a game with virtual reality glasses? What if you had some kind of fun, I think with VR glasses, they have these kind of weird videos where you might be flying through space or walking through the clouds. Like if you can actually take a screen capture of what it looks like engaging in VR stuff, that would be an excellent thing to post to social media. If there was some story about some kid wearing VR glasses who, walked in front, it's kind of a depressing story, but if some kid was like wearing like VR glasses and walked in front of a train or something like that, and there was some news story about it, like not every post, actually very few posts, like people don't want to be sold to. So your post shouldn't be, hey, buy this, hey, buy this, hey, buy this, hey, buy our product, hey, our product's on sale. Post things kind of surrounding your niche that are actually interesting to people, and then occasionally, what's the word I'm looking for? Spurse out, or occasionally post things about sales, or here's our glasses, or here's where you can buy them. But I don't know, just to give you guys an example, like with hoverboards, which I was talking about earlier. Like, yeah, I could be like, hey, buy my hoverboard. Hey, buy my hoverboard. Hey, our hoverboards are 600 watts. Hey, buy my hoverboard. But there's a lot of like funny hoverboard videos on YouTube. There's some compilations of people like falling and like busting their face or busting their ass on their hoverboard. There's some videos of a guy like on top of a skyscraper going along the edge on his hoverboard. So that's stuff that's actually interesting. Like that's something that I would actually watch. That's something that might be featured in like a World Star video. So as somebody who's in social media, post interesting stuff within your niche and then occasionally post out like an ad or buy our product. But really the majority of what you're posting should be like cool videos, news stories, funny things, things that people are actually going to want to engage with, and that's how you build an audience. And then you can occasionally advertise to your audience. I'm trying to think of some other examples. Like if I sell, I don't know, maybe I sell like baseball cards or like sleeves and books and binders for baseball cards. Like nobody wants to see me tweeting out like, "Hey, buy our BCW top loaders today. Hey, buy our BCW top loaders today." I might want to post things on social media like this awesome Mickey Mantle card, or this Mickey Mantle rookie card just sold for $57,000. Or I might want to post something like the new blah 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 NASCAR card is coming out next week. Like post things that are actually of interest to your audience, and that's how you're actually going to build an audience. And then occasionally you can advertise to them. But most people on social media don't just want to be sold to, they want interesting content. So provide interesting content a lot more than you're trying to market to people. And that's really kind of the last slide in this presentation. Let's go back to the beginning. Johnny F., I hope this kind of maybe gave you some ideas of how you can kind of maybe get yourself more engaged or more interested in social media. And I would love to, I'll respond to your comment and link to this video. But I'd love to have you chime in and drop a comment on this video and maybe elaborate a little bit more on what problems you're running into or why you find social media so boring. And if you want to share your niche or whatever it is that you're trying to do on social media, feel free to drop that as well. And I'd be happy to chime in, and other people who watch these videos, I'm sure would be happy to add some helpful commentary as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please click that subscribe button below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.